You just hit record and start going, I guess. This should be interesting. Get ready for some serious, serious criticism. I swear, I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't know why I do some of the things I do. All right, let's do this. Welcome back to Desperate Radio. I'm Haas, and this is going to be an interesting one. I'm flying solo today because I wanted to do a retrospective on something that I've done lately, but I'm doing a self retrospective. And I thought it might be a good way for me to show you how critical I can be of myself. Recently, I went to Tech Alley Henderson event where they showcase startups and small businesses. And I went there as a guest speaker to explain what I do and what Agile is. So, what I'm doing today is I'm actually doing a retrospective, if you will, a lessons learned, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it a retrospective and a self reflection on my performance. And no one is harder on what I did more than me, by the way. I often ask those who are close to me or anybody, like, hey, you can just give it to me straight. I am not that sensitive. And if I am, I'll never show you. But I would like to know what is it that I can do and improve. And I knew right then and there what I needed to fix, what I need to work on, what's going to be the criticism. And I'm glad that they pointed out exactly what I thought of myself, which we're going to go over. However, interesting to note, I had a lot of cringe moments, as the kids say today. And there was a lot of moments where I know that I was either nervous or tripping over my words or finding the right words to say. I can identify those moments during the video. I wonder if you can identify them. If you can, point them out in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And let's just watch together. Let's see if you guys can figure it out.
Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. While we're getting our presentation, right, I just show of hands. How many people know what Agile is? Heard of Agile? Like Agile? Hate Agile? Tired of Agile? Here you go, Jim. All right. Well, I'm here to tell you that Agile is not broken. We are. We're going to turn pain into practical wins. Thank you, Tech Alley, for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight about what I do and what I love to do.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to cover here is the fact that the presentation wasn't coming up. It was stuck somewhere. So I had to just kind of buy time, which I have to be honest. There are times where I feel like if I'm just talking without prep notes, sometimes a lot more prepared, I kind of have an idea what I want to talk about. If you've been watching this show for a while, you know that I just riff when I do an interview or a presentation. I'm not a true podcaster. I'm not a true journalist. Don't follow my style. I am not good to emulate if you want to be successful in the podcasting and the journalism part of things, but I do my best to ask the right questions. So when I prepare, I usually just have notes. I don't have a script. I don't have line by line instructions of what to do. I usually have an idea and I put it down in notes. I put it down in bullet points. I don't like too many words on a presentation or for me because it will distract me from the message that I'm really trying to convey. So I know that this event wanted me to have a presentation, which I didn't mind. And most of my slides actually were just one or two words. I don't put a lot of words on any of my presentation. Again, for me, it takes away from your message and it takes away from you as the presenter. That's how I feel about it. So there was a part of me that was kind of happy that the presentation wasn't coming up because I can just start. I didn't want to be relying on the presentation to guide me. So, and it comes up, and here you go.
So again, one of my themes, one of my taglines is Agile isn't broken. We are. I can show you how to turn pain into practical wins. I am an Agile coach. My name is Haas. It's Hosni, but I go by Haas. I am an Agile coach. I've been doing this for over 15 years. I've seen good Agile, bad Agile, shitty Agile, really, really good Agile, and fake Agile. I am the host and founder of Dead Sprint Radio and The Nexus by DSR. I'll explain that in a little bit. But more importantly, I'm a dad and I'm a husband. Those are my two favorite titles. Just recently moved here from Orange County, California for my family. And like I said, I've been doing this for 15 years and I've been doing this for so long that I've seen Agile on both sides, good, bad, ugly, everything that you can think of. But more importantly, I'm on a mission to fix bad Agile because I have a real connection with Agile. I have a real personal connection, why it helps, why it works, how it works, and it affected me personally in my own life. I'm not going to get into that, but you can tune in tomorrow's episode to check it out.
All right. This part about having a connection, a personal connection to Agile, it's actually one of my favorite things that I said during that presentation, and I wish I'd build on it more. I know that what I really wanted was for them to watch the podcast to talk about how much of a personal connection I have with it, but it was something that I feel like I could have just gave it a little bit more, a little bit more beef, a little bit more, just a little bit more.
So as you can see from the slide here, I am certified through something called Scale Agile Framework. I've been doing this again for a long time that they expect me to be a safe expert. Scale Agile Framework is the content authority on how to implement Agile correctly across multiple organizations, government, teams with multiple products and portfolios. I have 5 certifications. One of them is called SBC. That's the second highest. Soon to be ASBC, Advanced SBC, meaning that I know what I'm talking about. I know how to implement it. I know how to do it the right way. I know how to fix it. I'm the guy they call when things go wrong and shit hit the fans. I have 50 achievements. I've gotten those 50 achievements by fixing bad Agile, by turning things around, by telling people, you're doing this the wrong way. Let me help you do it the right way. Did something just go off? Yes, it did. Yes. So while she's getting taking care of that, show of hands. Again, can I hear somebody's experience with Agile? Michael, don't raise your hand because I already talked to you last time I mean. He's not even here. Show of hands. How many people here, again, don't like Agile, don't like what it does? There's one thing that you can change in your team or within your career with Agile or something that you do right now. One thing, what would it be? Nothing? That's all right.
Can you
I can go on. Yeah, I can wing it. No problem. Don't worry about it. So let me tell you what some of the things I hear usually when I go. And yes, what didn't you like about Agile? What do you want to fix about it?
doing more job?
100%. That's literally the number one complaint that I get. That's why there's fake Agile out there, right? Because yes, go ahead. Glad you asked. I'm going to explain that in a second. Thank you so much. Agile is a set of values and principles of how you approach work. It's not a framework. It's not waterfall. It's not telling you a playbook on how to go and treat your customer or treat your coworkers or how to develop or how to release or how to engineer. It tells you that you should put the customer first, collaborate with your coworkers and your customer first to understand what they want, to understand what your customer wants, so you can give them what they want. And what happens is as a lot of frameworks came out of Agile, like Scale Agile Framework, like Scrum, like XP, a lot of people take those frameworks and then they challenge you and then they lie to you and tell you, this is how you're supposed to be Agile. This is how you're supposed to do your backlog. This is how you're supposed to do your stand-up. Everything that I'm saying to you right now is a bunch of buzzwords. You learn a bunch a bunch of buzzwords, they throw it at you, they mask the fact that it's not really agile.
Okay. About this part, actually, there was an agile coach sitting right across from me on a table. I've met him before, and I don't know the gentleman very well, but I don't think he was happy with what I was saying, because I will take this to my grave and I will fight this every single day and I'll follow my sword every single time. Agile is not a framework. Agile is not a methodology. I know if you Google it, it'll tell you Agile is a methodology. It is not. Agile is a mindset, and it is a set of values and principles. And from that mindset and from the values and from the principles came out methodologies and frameworks on how to work in an agile environment. Agile in itself is not a framework, but it does inspire frameworks such as Scrum, Kanban, Save, Scrum at Scale. So that's my point. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me, and that's okay. You don't have to, but we can still be friends.
For example, backlog refinement, right? They tell you it's a backlog refinement. You're supposed to work on what you're going to plan for the future, but what do? You talk about things for 2-3 hours. At the end of the meeting, you come out of that meeting thinking to yourself, what the hell just happened? What did we just talk about? They tell you about psychological safety, meaning that if you're a subject matter expert in what you do, whether you're a product or engineer or QA, you can put your foot down and say, no, we're not going to do this because it's wrong. Companies don't allow you to do that. Why? Because they had someone go take a weekend class, learn the buzzwords, come back and stick it onto whatever you're currently doing that's not really agile.
All right. This part right here, he didn't like that either. The guy that was sitting across from me. I don't think he liked that one. He wasn't even looking in my direction at that point.
A daily stand-up. A daily stand-up is supposed to be 15 minutes long. You're supposed to talk to the people that are working on the things that you're working on and just get a quick update on what's blocking them. Instead, it's an hour long about what I ate last night and what I'm doing this weekend. That's not a daily stand-up. So fake agile, bad agile is out there. And that I've experienced it. I was part of it, and I learned the right way to do it. Still off? I'll keep going. I'm probably like 5 slides ahead by now. Yes.
Refocus solid numbers, story point.
That's not correct. That, in my opinion, that's not correct. Save, Scrum, Kanban, those are all frameworks that came out of the agile methodology, the agile mindset. Agile at its core, there are 4 set of values and 12 principles. They prioritize the interaction, the collaboration, the customer satisfaction, the work in software, the work in solution over tools, boards, data, or reporting. We're not saying that's not important. They are important. What's more important is your interaction, your collaboration with the customer and the people that are building the right product. That's what Agile is. Another buzzword that people like to throw around is psychological safety and value stream. Does anybody here know what a value stream is? If you're a business or an owner or an organization that does not know what your value stream is or cannot explain or articulate what your value stream is, that's a big problem. Your value stream is what do you do? What are the steps that you take from the second you meet a customer to the second you deliver them value? I'll simplify it even more for you. If I own a food truck, I sell code, and you come to my truck, that's my first step. What I do from the minute that you meet me till the minute I give you a talkie in your hand and take money, that's my value stream. Every step that I take, that's called a value stream. If you don't know that, you don't know how to articulate that to your customers or your coworkers or the people that you work with, that's a problem. Because if you can't explain it as a business owner, if you can't explain it as a leader, are we good? All right. Oh, I skipped over the pain one. All right, I'll go back to her. It's okay.
All right, that's where my presentation came back online, and I realized I missed a couple of lines and a couple of jokes, but I seem to be on track. So I'm telling you, I just review my notes ahead of time. I don't need a script. I don't need step-by-step instructions when it comes to presenting or doing a network event like that or any kind of speaking engagement. I just need bullet points of what I'm going to cover, and I'm going to go in a flow. And normally I'm the ones that put them in those bullet points because I know what my flow is. So I recommend you do the same. Let your heart speak, not the slides.
So if you don't know how to explain what that value stream is, then how are you expect the people that you work with, the people that work for you, the people that you want to hire, to know what they're working on and how they're working there, how they're getting there? How do you get them inspired? By a paycheck? How do you get them inspired? This is why I say, yeah, man, you ruined my joke. I'm just kidding. There's something called pain that I talk about for the past few months. It's called practicing Agile in name. That's all it is. You're just practicing Agile in name. You're not really being Agile, because Agile, again, is a mindset. It's a set of values and principles that you should follow if you want to be successful in working with your teams, your customers, and everybody else that you want to work with to make sure that your product has value. Your product is successful. I already covered that part. So, without knowing what Agile really does, without really embodying the essence of the values and the principles of Agile, what does that do? You have no clarity, no North Star. Leadership gets tired of just trying to focus on data. What are you working on? How many hours have you put in? Is this going to go out in time? That's not what leadership is about. In the end, you got burnout people, burnout leaders, burnout customers. Okay? If you keep delivering the wrong thing to your customer, what's going to happen? You're going to lose that customer. They're not going to want to come back. It takes me 10 minutes to deliver a taco out of my truck, with the truck next to me does it better at only a minute, why should they come back to me? What is it about my food that's better than theirs? You're going to have missed opportunities. You're going to have lost revenue. This is the cost of bad Agile. And I've been part of that.
All right. That one is a really big, important one, the value stream thing. But I do feel that it is something that people do not pay much attention to. If you are a stakeholder and you don't know what your value stream, or you cannot articulate what your value stream is, you know what you're selling, but you don't know what your value stream is, that's a problem. That is a huge problem. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate how important it is for any industry, any company, any individual to know what their value stream is. I have 4 of them, possibly 5. And I'm a small business. I'm a one-man machine. So you should know how you bring value to your business and what are the steps that you're taking to bring that value. Ask me more about it.
So doing this for so long, I decided to start something a few months ago called Dead Sprint Radio. Ask me about Dead Sprint Radio. I'll explain the name later outside of this stage. It's where we call out the honest bullshit that nobody wants to talk about. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of trainers who are in my field who sell you the bullshit that you're supposed to do Agile, and they do it the wrong way. I just let you watch. Sorry, so it needs to be a little bit louder.
Or we say you're harness again. I don't know. Pretty good.
Oh man, I tell you, this was a really frustrating part for me. This was the most frustrating thing about the presentation not playing well, is the fact that I had videos on there. I had a sizzle reel of everything that we do on the podcast. I had a preview of the next episode. The sizzle reel ended with a really funny joke. I'll put a link to it so you guys can watch it. It's not already on YouTube, which is a joke that we've heard a couple of times before on here. And the one that I felt really strongly about and very emotionally about, and I feel like it just took the impact that it would have had if everybody heard it, was the preview of the next episode, which was the episode about my dad and my daughter and how that Agile impacts me on a personal level more than a professional level. But we recovered anyway.
And also, by the way, quick shout out to my wife who's sitting over there. She is part of the podcast. Give her a round of applause, please. Thank you so much, Phoebe. All right. So why does this matter to me? Again, tune in tomorrow. You'll find out. I'm not going to tell you all the details, but I did discover Agile at a very pivotal moment in my life, and I've seen it where if you apply it correctly, if you apply it with the passion that I have, if you apply it with ethics and true values, you're going to get the results that you want. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a leader, whether you are somebody's just a product owner or a scrum master or a project manager, it doesn't matter. If you have ethics and values and morals, and if you do it the right way, you're going to get the results that you want. Two things happened to me in my career that really turned me off from the industry, but I kept on grinding. Number one is that when I first got certified, I ran into a brick wall and I asked the person that trained me, I said, hey, I have a problem. I don't know how to get over it. Can you help me? And they said, sure, I'll give you two options. One, take another class at much more money. Two, put me in front of your boss so they can hire me as a consultant. They didn't want to help me. They wanted to help themselves. Years later, where I was giving classes, by the way, with SAFE, I am actually enabled to give everybody here a certification class if I wanted to. All certification classes in SAFE. But I don't believe in just certifications. But I wanted to get trained on how to give certifications for those that wanted it or needed it. And the one trainer that I was working with at the time asked me, what are you struggling with? I said, there's just something, I want to make sure that what I'm telling them makes sense because I want them to trust me. Because I care about what I tell people, because I care that if I certify you, if I give you a class, if I give you a workshop, I want you to go out there and do what I told you, not come back to me and say, I didn't learn anything. That's a reflection on me. That means I'm not doing my job. That means I'm not good at my craft. That man said to me, just read the trainer notes. We just want to get them out of here. That's not ethical. That's not how I operate. That's not how I do things. And this is why I created something also called the Nexus by DSR. It's an honest, result-driven alternative to bad Agile. It's not just a certification program. It's a cohort-paced program that is meant, if you want to get certified, you can. But that's not the point. The certification is not the end game here. The end game is for you to learn what to do with that certification, how to use it, when to use it, grow a roadmap for you, for your team, for your organization. I'm not going to certify you in 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. No, this is a cohort program that takes over 10 weeks. At the end of it, you'll be enabled to get certified in 3 different certification levels. However, the end game, again, is for you to learn how to use it, when to use it, and why should you even care about it. It's for individuals, it's for leaders, it's for teams. At the Nexus, we have 3 levels. We have Ignite, Elevate, and Lead. Think of it as beginners, intermediate, and advanced. If you come to me and you say, I've never had anything to do with Agile, I want to take the Lead program. Hell no, you're not. If you come to me and say, I've been doing Agile for a while and I don't like it, I want to start Ignite. Okay, let's start. Okay? You get one-on-one coaching where I help you put together a map of growth, wherever, again, if it's for you or for your team or for your organization. And again, you get the SAFE certification as an add-on. We are working with a few partners to add some additional services such as resume building, online presence like LinkedIn power-ups and all that. So we are working with some vendors to make sure that that grows with us. We also offer for businesses, Agile transformation and leadership coaching. Again, because I really don't believe that certification is the answer. I can certify you, but I want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. Workshops and training for your teams, and scaled Agile implementation and recovery. If you currently want to start Agile, or if you're in bad Agile and you want to recover from it, we got you. But if you do the cohort program, if you're somebody that's interested in the cohort program, my intention is for you to go and do that recovery, do that implementation without needing me. That's what I want for you. Again, because I take my craft and my job very seriously. What do we do beyond the Nexus? Speaking engagement like this one, hopefully a little bit better and I don't rush through it. We are constantly looking for desperate and radio collaboration and guest spots. You saw Michael Pope on the show. My wife is on the show. A few other friends are on the show. Last week we did one about AI, and we had a couple of experts on the show. And custom training and consultant packages. As a matter of fact, we'll put a QR code here in a little bit. If you want a 30-minute free consultation, just scan that QR code and look for me, and we'll schedule something. One more thing I ask you, if you can just scan the QR code to follow me on YouTube and spread the good word. If you like what you see, if you think somebody else can benefit from it, please go ahead, scan it. I'll leave that up there for a few seconds. You know, having the thing go down is probably better because that would have went like 40 minutes. All right. And lastly, if you want to continue the conversation about the cohort program, about the Nexus, or if you want your free consultation, please scan that QR code and let's have a conversation.
Okay, I'm going to stop right here. My second biggest takeaway is this section right here, where I just dumped on those people everything that I do, and I rushed it in a 30 seconds to a minute long. I rushed through everything without really giving it the proper attention and details that it needs. And what I learned from this experience, that this is probably not the right platform for me to have done that. And it's because I just moved. I'm not making excuses. I know where I failed. But I just did move to Henderson, Nevada, and I was excited to showcase who I am and what I can do for the community, and as a business owner and as a thriving member of the community, that I think I just got ahead of myself and I got too excited and overzealous, and I ended up just regurgitating everything that I do, which needs to be a little bit better planned and a little bit better tuned for the next one. The scanning of the QR code, I feel like I could have just done that a little bit better, give it a little bit more time to have people, give people the opportunity and the time to really just scan the code, check it out. I did get a few new followers that day, but it does feel like I could have put it out there a little bit longer. And then the other part was telling people about the 30-minute free assessment. I realized, like, people don't want, that's a sales call. So, and it really wasn't. I really was trying to help them. If you need help, scan this QR code and see if you really need help. I don't want to sell you my service if you don't need my help, right? But it was definitely something that I could fix, and I already have a plan for that. So that's my other feedback for room for improvement for myself on that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I like you, like, hey, we're gonna 3 months. But now delivery, it pushed hours for
I lean in on your strength and I put a roadmap of when to improve. Not everything needs to be improved right out the gate. That doesn't make any sense. One of the things, absolutely, delivery is number one. If it's going to disrupt your business, if it's going to disrupt your delivery, then I'm not doing a good job either. And I'm taking time away. Here's the thing. Scaled Agile Framework was founded by somebody named Dean Leffenwell. When I started the certification process and learning about SAFe and Scaled Agile and how to do it the right way, I was one of those fundamentals. I was one of the people that implemented bad Agile, that focused on process over delivery, because I forgot what Agile was about. But one thing that he said was, if you get out of my class, if you get out of our classes and you implement the 12 principles right out the gate, you're going to fail. Focus on what you can focus on and put everything else on the roadmap to get to. What's the biggest complaint that you have in your delivery?
budget time.
Okay, so budget. So let's tackle budget first. Let's put resource after we figure out what you heard Michael up here say, I focus on MVPs. Why can't your processes, why can't your process improvement, why can't your team's improvement have an MVP? What's more important right this second to make sure that your team can work together and trust each other? Is it the data? Is it using Jira? No. It's trusting each other and learning how to work together.
Oh, I gotta tell you, I love that question so much. It was such a good question because if it's not number one, it's one of the top five things that people always ask me is that how do we improve things while we're working on things? Well, you got to prioritize them and you got to give them MVPs. The fact that a lot of companies, teams, and industries don't have an improvement roadmap for their processes and their growth, forget agile. Just the fact that you're not visiting your processes every few months to make sure that it meets your demands and it meets your growth and it meets your changes. Nothing is ever on autopilot. Even autopilot itself needs to be shut off once in a while to be recalibrated. So why can't you do the same with your growth and your processes? Well, put together an improvement map. Put together a process map. Put together a process improvement map. I find it incredibly frustrating when teams that have agile coaches and scrum masters and RTEs that don't actually think about that stuff. What are you doing? Why are you there? What are you getting paid for? I digress. Let's go on. We're wrapping up here pretty soon. Let's go on.
Is not finger pointing. I teach people not how to finger point. My kids often ask me, what do you do? I went to their school last year to do what do your parents do for a living thing. I don't forget what it's called. My brain is on the fritz. I'm sorry. Career day. Thank you. Right? And people ask me, what do you do? And I say, I teach grownups how to work together. That's literally what I do. I just teach grownups how to work together without overstepping over each other's feet. Lower down your guard, lower down your ego, because why? We're all here for the same thing, that North Star. Again, if you know your value stream, you know your customer, everybody should be on the same page. Thank you for the question. Any other questions? All right. I do want to thank you for my time. My name is Haas. You can email me, haas@desperateradio.com. The website is desperateradio.com. And we are on all social platforms, YouTube, X, not Twitter anymore, Instagram.
Oh, yes. You got pretty well here. Can you just take a crap and just remind us what core principles of Agile are? It doesn't seem like it only applies to, a whole company.
Right.
Maybe you could apply it to yourself in your own workflow, or maybe kind of remind what.
So I'm going to name not all of them because I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I do embody them. But it says customer interaction over contract negotiations. Okay. A working software, which I changed to a working solution, is the true measure of success. Okay. Team collaboration over tools. So if you're stuck in Jira all day because you're trying to update your tickets, you're not practicing Agile. If somebody is telling you, hey, update your Jira, you can say something to them that I'm not allowed to say right here. Okay. So those are some of the principles. Focus on the human interactions, focus on the customer, focus on what's going to make a difference. Jira is not going to make a difference. SQL is not going to make a difference. All the tools that you're using are not going to make a difference. Okay. Your interactions with people, your interactions with the customer. How do you know that what you're delivering to the customer is the right thing? Is it after you deliver something after a year or after a couple of weeks? If I deliver them iteratively, every couple of weeks, I give them something and I get their feedback. Is that better, or should I wait a year from now after I deliver them a house, a car lot, or something? Isn't it better if I continue checking in with my customer to see what they want? What if the market changes? What if new laws come down and say, you can't do that anymore? Are you stuck now? That's what Agile teaches you. Pivot, be flexible, collaborate with your customers and your teams. Does that answer your question? I hope so. All right. And as a last treat, I just want to give you folks a preview of tomorrow's episode. I hope you hear it.
All right. So, I hated how I ended this, by the way. That was a panic moment for me because of the simple fact that they couldn't hear it It was very emotional. Even I was getting emotional. And I really should have been prepared to say something. I should have been what I really should have said, oh, you guys gonna hear it? Now you're definitely gonna have to tune in. That was really the right thing to say. I messed that one up. I dropped the ball on that one. All right. So here's my main takeaway. And I've been beating myself over the head with this for the last few days. And it is bothering me. But it is something that's important to address. And I'm going to address it here. Is the fact that one of the questions that somebody asked was, what is Agile? I walked into this room assuming everybody knew what Agile was. That was mistake number one. Mistake number two, I don't think I really explained it well. I explained the fact that it's a mindset, it's a set of values and principles, it's this, it's that. It wasn't until I started connecting with some folks about their frustration about their stand-ups or their backlog refinement or the ceremonies or the deliverables or whatever else, or the gentleman that asked about prioritizing what to fix first over the deliverables that they have. So my biggest frustration with me, my biggest fail on me, was not really explaining Agile in a way that these folks would connect with and understand and appreciate sooner, quicker, simpler. And it's really this. Agile is something you probably already are practicing, but you don't know that you are practicing, or you have no idea that you have a say in how it's supposed to be working or how it's supposed to operate. Somebody probably showed you how to do that. Somebody that was already probably at your job that says, this is how we do things here. That's pain. That's practicing Agile in name. And you probably are doing it already, and you just don't know that you are. So that's really my biggest takeaway, my biggest disappointment. Disappointment is a harsh word, I understand, but I'm very critical of my performance and how I connect with people, because I feel like if I don't connect with people, then why would you believe me that I can fix things for you? That's just how I feel. So my biggest takeaway is that I failed to explain Agile in a way that people can connect to and people can understand. And there is a better way of doing it. And that you do have a choice to make it better. And that's how you fix bad Agile. Well, there you go. That's my retrospective on my performance and all the work that I've done and everything leading up to that presentation and that networking event. It was a lot of fun. Thank you again to Tech Ali Henderson, and thank you to Lorraine Yard. Thank you so much for setting this up. Thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for taking the time to check out my failures, and hope to see you soon again. This is Haas, and this has been Dead Sprint Radio. All right, folks. That's it. That's all, folks. That's all, folks.